Harper Nolan had been driving for hours along the winding mountain roads, the sky a heavy grey pressing down, threatening rain at any moment. Her hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, knuckles white against the thin leather, as the lonely road stretched endlessly ahead. On either side, dense forest loomed like silent sentinels, the trees swaying unnaturally in the gusts of wind. Without warning, her car shuddered violently and fell silent, the engine dying as if it had never existed. Panic surged through her chest as she tried the ignition again and again, but the engine refused to respond. Her phone displayed only the merciless words, "No signal." Stepping out onto the gravel shoulder, Harper felt the forest close around her, a suffocating presence of shadow and isolation. Every instinct screamed at her to flee, yet there was nowhere to go, just the road, the darkening woods, and the oppressive knowledge that she was utterly alone. As Harper scanned the forest edge, the rustle of leaves and snapping twigs made her flinch, each sound amplified by the eerie silence surrounding her. Then he appeared. A man emerged from the shadows, tall and wiry, his movements unnervingly smooth, almost deliberate in a way that set her nerves on edge. His hood was drawn low, concealing most of his face, but his calm, measured voice cut through the tension. "Car trouble." Harper's instinct screamed to run, yet desperation rooted her in place. She needed help, and despite the unease twisting her stomach into knots, she found herself nodding, unable to refuse the stranger who seemed to materialize from the forest itself. But deep down, she knew something was wrong. The way he moved, the way the shadows seemed to cling to him, nothing about this man felt ordinary. The stranger introduced himself as Jonas, claiming he lived nearby and could help her get the car running. He gestured toward a faint light deeper in the forest, a glow that flickered between the trees like a distant promise. Harper hesitated, every instinct screaming that the path was dangerous, that she should remain on the road and wait. But the cold evening air, the growing darkness, and the immobility of her car left her with no choice. With a wary nod, she followed Jonas along a narrow overgrown trail, her senses heightened with every step. Each snap of a branch, each rustle of leaves, seemed deliberate, orchestrated to unnerve her. She felt eyes in the forest, something unseen, patient, tracking every movement, waiting for her to falter. Her heartbeat thumped in her chest as her mind ran wild, realizing that the danger might not come from Jonas alone. The deeper they went, the more Harper noticed unsettling details. Strange symbols carved into the tree trunks, arrangements of broken branches, and scratches too precise to belong to animals. Jonas continued walking casually, speaking as if nothing was wrong, but Harper's gut twisted with rising terror. Something in the forest was alive, aware, and it did not like intruders. The air grew colder, heavier, each breath sharp and metallic in her lungs. Shadows lengthened unnaturally, and she began to doubt whether the light ahead was a safe haven or a lure. Every instinct that had kept her alive until now screamed for her to turn back, yet every step carried her further into the unknown. The trail eventually opened to a small, decrepit cabin, nearly swallowed by overgrown ivy and shadow. Its windows were black, like empty eyes, and the door hung slightly ajar, creaking in the wind. Jonas pushed it open with deliberate calm, and Harper's stomach twisted. Inside, the cabin reeked of damp wood, rust, and something metallic that made her stomach churn. Old furniture lay scattered haphazardly, and strange markings covered the walls, etched in patterns that made her skin crawl. The light from outside cast long, shifting shadows that seemed to slither along the floor, and Harper realized the danger was not just Jonas, nor the forest, it was everything around her, alive in ways she could not comprehend. Every sound, every flicker of shadow, ratcheted her fear higher, and yet the pull of survival kept her moving forward. It was then that Harper realized the situation had escalated beyond anything she could anticipate. Jonas moved with an unnerving speed, blocking exits and anticipating her every attempt to escape. The forest outside seemed to twist and bend, branches clawing at her, shadows deepening with each step. Every heartbeat was amplified, every rustle of leaves became a threat. Whispering voices, faint and unintelligible, echoed through the cabin and into the surrounding woods. Harper ran blindly, lungs burning, heart hammering, knowing that one misstep could mean her end. The forest had become a trap, and whatever had been waiting in the shadows now stalked her relentlessly, testing her endurance, patience, and will to survive. When dawn finally broke, Harper stumbled onto the main road, soaked, exhausted, and trembling. The forest behind her seemed serene, as if the horrors of the night had never existed. A passing car screeched to a halt, and Harper collapsed into it, gasping for air, unable to speak. Even as safety seemed within reach, she felt the lingering weight of the forest, the invisible presence that had pursued her, and she realized that what had hunted her was far from finished. In her pocket, she discovered a small carved symbol, identical to the markings in the cabin, a chilling reminder that the nightmare was not over. The mountain road could never be safe again.